Hi guys, it's me again, Clem from Wonderwords, and today I'm going to share with you my summer wrap-up and book haul. So, as expected, this summer I didn't get to read as many books as I'd planned, but you know what, I'm still really happy with what I read, even though I think I could have read more. But I don't know, I had my friends this summer, so I went out a lot, so that's a pretty good excuses. And yeah, and I bought also 5 books, and I'm going to start by showing these 5 books to you, so let's get started. So the first book I bought was one of my most anticipated release but for this summer, and it is Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo, and this is the first book in the DC Icons Quartet, I think it's how I'm going to call it. And yeah, so I got the hardcover one, which is absolutely beautiful. Like, it's blue and orange, like goldish, and it's really beautiful, and moreover it's signed by Leigh Bardugo, and I didn't know that, so it was a very good surprise. And yeah, so basically it tells the story of Diana, Wonder Woman, before she becomes Wonder Woman, I think, or something like that, or just before she becomes Wonder Woman, and she's going to team up with this girl and they have to save the world, basically. I think that's the plot, but I'm not sure. The next book I bought was Magnus Chase and the Hammer of Thor by Rick Riordan. It's the second installment in the Magnus Chase and the Northern God and the God of Asgard trilogy. I just finished, like, yesterday, the first book, and it was really great, even though I had some problem and some issues with it, but we'll talk about it in my wrap-up and in a review, so stay tuned to see that. So yeah, I bought it because with Sarah we're trying to read the whole trilogy before the movie Thor Ragnarok actually comes out in the middle of October. So yeah, so I had to buy the second one to continue with the trilogy. And I finally bought a book that I wanted for so long, but I never got to buy it. Like, most of the time I was just waiting for people to buy it for me, like for my birthday or for Christmas, but it never came. But I'm not blaming them, okay? I had so many other amazing books for my birthday and Christmas, but still. And it is The Young Galette by Mary Lou. It's the first book in the Young Galette trilogy. Mary Lou is the one who wrote Legend, and it's one of my favorite trilogies, so I had to buy The Young Galette. And this book is really pretty, and I don't know, it sounds really great. I don't really know what it's about. Like, I want to go in it like a little bit blind, like just like I did with the Legend trilogy. Like, I know very little about it and I absolutely loved it, so I'm going to do the same with The Young Galette. After that I bought The Darkest Mind by Alexandra Bracken. Yeah, that's her name. It's the first book in the Darkest Mind trilogy, and once again, I don't really know what this book is about. I just know that I want to read this for so long. I think there is something about witches or witchcraft or something like that. I don't really know, but I really want to read it even more now that I know it's going to be made into a movie, so I want to have read the books before I actually see the movie, so yeah. And last but not least, I bought the second book in the Lady Ellen trilogy by Alison Goodman, which is The Dark Days Pact. Actually, I don't have it right now because I actually ordered it, but it came like wrecked, so I have to send it back. So I'm waiting for it to be sent to me again. Like, I don't own it right now, but actually I bought it, so I'm going to include it in my book haul. And yeah. Now let's get to my wrap-up for this summer. This summer I managed to read 8 books, which is actually great because, like, it's even better than what I do in 1 month, so yeah. So yeah, let's get started with the first book I read this summer. So first we have Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. It's the first book in the Hunger Games trilogy. I don't need to tell you what it's about or like what I liked about this book because I actually really love this trilogy, and I decided to reread it because I thought it had been a long time since I read those books, and this summer I only managed to read the first one because I had so many other great books to read that I kind of pushed my reread like for later. So yeah, and I gave it something like maybe 4.5 out of 5 stars because I didn't remember the first one was really long, and there were a lot of things that were in the movie that I forgot, so it was cool. Then I finally read A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J Maas. It's the first book in A Court of Thorn and Roses trilogy, and actually at first I didn't want it to read those books like at all because I'm kind of in a reading slump for Sarah J Maas. Like I still have to read the rest of the Throne of Glass series. Like I have to read the third one and I can't get to read this book, so I thought, why would I go and read some other Sarah J Maas when I can't even read Throne of Glass? But Jenny was really fond of the second and the third one, like she was really crazy about it, and Sarah had read the first one, and so I decided to read them because they were there on my Kobo and on my Audible account, so I decided to listen to it, then to read it, and I absolutely loved it. Like the last 100 pages of this book, like I can't even really remember them because I read them so quickly and I was so into it, but most of the things that happened at the end I can't even remember, like, so I need to reread the last 100 pages before I read the second one. But I absolutely really loved it. Like it was fast paced at the end because at the beginning it's not fast paced at all, and I like the word therein. Like I can't say that it's perfect because it's Sarah J Maas and I have issues with her writing and her character building and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into this talk right now. And yeah, but it was still really great, and I can't wait to read the second one because I want to know what will happen, and I know it's becoming even better in the second and the third one. Then I read the first book in the Lady Ellen trilogy, which is The Dark Days Club, and I gave it maybe a 4.5 out of 5 stars because the first 100 to 150 pages are really slow paced, and actually they have to be slow paced and they have to be like they are because they need to settle all the word, and since it's happening in the Victorian era, a lot of people don't know how it was in the Victorian era, so Alison Goodman needed to like install a word and how is it going to be for a character in this time and this era, and like the costume and all the things like that. So it's slow but it's necessary, so I didn't really mind, and after it's becoming so good and there is so many actions and suspense and stuff like that that I really enjoyed it. And as you see, I ordered the second one, so I can't wait to read the rest of it. And it has a little bit of Pride and Prejudice vibes between the two main characters that I love. I absolutely love it. Like, you know, I'm a huge fan for Pride and Prejudice and everything that circle around that. Like, yay! Next up we have Still Star-Crossed by Melinda Taube or something like that. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and it's basically tells the story of what happens after the end of Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, and what happens in Verona and between the Capulet and the Montague. So it was really interesting, and as I watched the TV shows that was adapted from the book, I wanted to read the book, so it was really good. And the show is actually a good adaptation, even though for the end, because no, I'm not going to talk about the end of the show, but yeah, it was really great and really cute. Like it was a good historical / romantic story that has to do with one of my favorite books of all time, Romeo and Juliet. So I was really happy with this book. It was nice and it was a good summer read. Next, I read First and Then by Emma Miles. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and it tells the story of, what's her name, Devon. And Devon is actually has a crush on her best friend, but you know, it's not going the way she wants it to be. And she's starting a senior year, and in a senior year her cousin is actually living with them, and so she has to deal with a little cousin, like living with them, and everything that happens with him. And also there is this guy, Enzo or Ezra, who comes into her life and the one of her cousin, and so she has to deal with it. And it was a really cute contemporary, like there is the love story, but it's not the main story, like the main plot. Like the most important thing in this book for me is the relationship between Devon and her cousin, like, which is so cute, like they were so cute. And then there is Ezra that come into the whole shebang stuff, like, and yeah, it was really cute, and I read it like in 2 days, so yeah, I loved it. And it has Pride and Prejudice and Jane Austen references all the time, so this book was made for me. Next up we had A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars because it was absolutely beautiful. Like, it's a masterpiece. This thing is perfect. Like, the world building in these books in this book, because I haven't read the 2 others, but I'm sure it's the same. In this book is perfect. Like, I don't know, I like how the different 4 Londons are made, and the differences and similarities between them, and how one thing in one London becomes another thing in another London. Yeah, it was genius, like pure genius. And I really fell in love with Kel. Like, this character is really well constructed. Like, I don't know, and Lila, I love everything about this book. I can't really tell you that anything else, because I fell in love with those books, and I know it's not really useful what I'm saying, but when I think about it, I just want to pick the other one and dive into their pages and what will happen to Lila and Kel, and please be together, like kiss already. Yeah, they're my ship, and I will go down with this ship. So yeah. And last but not least, I read the most amazing read of this summer, which is Cress by Marissa Meyer. It's the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles, and it's definitely my favorite one so far. Oh my gosh. The beginning of this book was brilliant. Like, I loved it because they were all the characters I liked, they were all together. But then, like 150 pages after I started the book, drama happened. Like, there's shit happening everywhere. Like, and it's for 200 pages after that, you suffer. I suffered for 200 pages, and I was like, I couldn't stop reading because I wanted to see what will happen next, and I suffered so long. Like, I loved it, okay, I suffered, but I loved it. It was pure genius, and so many plot twists and things happening. Like, it was so fast-paced. I don't know, Marissa Meyer is a genius. Like, she has a way to write things that when you dive into it you can't stop, and you just want to read and read and read and see what will happen next, and I love her for that. So yeah, I loved Cress, and I'm currently reading Ferris, so after I can read Winter and finish the Lunar Chronicles, and I think I'm going to cry at the end because I love this book so much. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do after that. So yeah guys, that was it for my summer wrap up and book haul. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more of me and of my 2 friends. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to share if you also like this video. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye guys!